I'm sure, Kevin, that that's just what these wonderful people watching the television at home wanted to hear. Your dulcet, there's no H, tones coming through there.
I was microphone testing, if you don't mind.
Welcome one and all to this semi-final of the pro event from Warwickshire. Craig Marsh against John McAllister, both players in fantastic form, and it's no surprise to see these two meeting each other, Kev. Neither of them seem able to lose a game.
Well, this one is a coin flip for me because obviously Craig's full of confidence, won the Open last night, played really well, best I've seen him play for a while. And John McAllister is just getting better and better and better as each month and tour and event goes by. So this one is so hard to call. So I'm not gonna. But yeah, I think we're in for a treat, and that's great for us all as fans of pool.
I'm not surprised, really, Kev, that you've not decided to go with your coin flip. That would involve you getting the coin out of your wallet, and we all know that doesn't happen very often.
Well, we all know that I haven't got a wallet to get anything else. It got pinched the other night.
Nice cross double there from Craig.
Yeah, I mean, that just shows the confidence that's oozing out of him at the moment.
Bit of work though, Kev, to get on the black. You think he might go back up for this ball near the black spot now?
He's not. He's screwing around off two cushions. So he's going to leave it to develop it from his last ball.
Looks quite straight on that, Kev. I'm not sure this is going to be as easy as it. Oh, he seems to think he can get the angle. So
yeah, he's got angle there. Looks pretty good. So he needs to judge the kiss on the red to just nudge the black out and the white to slide past the red. Pretty much something like that.
He won't be afraid of this party. It's not as nice as he would have wanted, but with a man of his bossing ability and snooker background, these are easy, aren't they, Kev?
I think he's going left corner. Yeah, I'm surprised he's put on bottom one. There we go, clean as a whistle, first frame. Blink and you miss it. I think one thing that I've noticed over the past sort of few tours is that the innovation that we're seeing in matches, particularly by the top guys, is frightening. You know, they're looking to attack at every opportunity, not take a backward step, and you know, as a result of that, we're seeing shots that we've probably never seen before.
Yeah, we've had a couple of examples on the stream of shots that you just makes it hard work for me trying to pull out, to pick out these shots on a consistent basis. And surely, if we have a competition for shot of the year, Kev, there's going to be a few fantastic examples of shot making.
There is. I think it'll be pick one out of 30. That'll be a right compilation Dave will have to put together for that. Be an hour long.
God, at 30 you might even get in.
Maybe. But my simple tap in black, I don't think that would qualify, would it?
John looking at yellows here. One ball near the left centre pocket. Once he's cleared the area, probably find he's going to take a cross double on. He can't do it yet. He can drop the one in now to the right and then take the cross double on. He's just come the wrong side of it to get position, has he, Kev?
Yeah, I'm just trying to see if that yellow's tight on the cushion. If it is, it could cause him a problem.
He might be able to take it now if he can squeeze it past the yellow. I think he can.
But even straight away with that first shot, he's played a sort of combination shot. simpler options, but he's been sort of been innovative to ensure that he's got the right position. I think the rules just is the primary reason for that, because they allow you that freedom to be innovative in your shot selections. I think that was just slid away from him a little bit. I think he was playing on this one below the black, to be honest.
I think he's alright though. He can drop the ball in now to the top right pocket and just hold the white where he was, where the yellow is, and it will give him a relatively easy back double. It's just where the white goes now, controlling that, because he needs to get out to beyond the yellow to the bottom right after this. Looking at how close they are together, you might expect it just to flick the red and then come back out to the middle of the table, which would be ideal for him.
Big shot. Looks good.
And now
that is the worst possible result for him.
Yeah, it was a thicker contact on the red than he wanted, and just took all the pace out of the cue ball.
Yeah, I thought he may have just hit that a little bit harder than that, but and that could potentially be the difference in this match. Just those very fine margins. Craig played a cross double and had a pot on his next shot, the previous frame, pot on his next ball. John's played the double, but it's not got anything easy.
A good effort there at the kick shot. Kick shot.
Have you gone All-American on us?
That's what I was trying to...
Yeah.
One cushion pot.
You were telling us he's playing with some English next.
I think we got that wrong. If the Americans have seen the Welsh boys play, it's probably more apt to describe it as Welsh than English.
And you just know Craig's not messing about.
Come across to the side of the table.
Gonna move it.
Don't think he needed to move it, Kev.
I think he felt he had an easy opportunity. He had quite a wide margin there to nudge it. As it happens, it's gone a little bit awkward. I think he's looking at this into the middle. Just a little soft stun, possibly.
Tight past that black.
Oh, he's missed it. Is he going to snooker on that one? Oh, he's had a result there.
As disappointed as John might be, I actually think, it was still quite a difficult shot to pot that yellow and get position on the yellow in the bottom left of the table. The double will just give him freedom to go for it. If he gets it, he should win the frame.
It's close. It's very close. That's a great shot.
And it looks like he might have a bit of angle to come down and be below the black for the middle pocket. Oh no, he's letting it up for the corner. If that pulls up a centimetre shorter, Kev, the black's not even a concern.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if he can just pinch a little bit. Yeah, it's like he's screwing back, probably with a bit of reverse side.
Needs to travel.
He's just okay.
A little bit betwixt in between, but he's certainly taken any choice out of the matter. Just wants to roll this in.
Little soft screw. Yeah.
Good shot.
Nailed it.
Parity after 2 frames.
So I think John will be pleased about that one after being a little bit unlucky. Craig had a chance to steal it, but as you say, one apiece. We've had a lot of emails and Facebook messages about the tour for next year. So if you are interested in signing up, all the details will be on the website and social media, etc. By the end of this week. And if you want to be part of it and to get involved in all the excitement and everything that's going on, then now's your opportunity. So keep your eyes peeled out on the usual channels for all the details. And it could be you on the stream, battling it out for the top prizes.
What's the name of the event, Kev, at Brighton?
That's a good question.
Have I just asked you one of them questions that you wish I hadn't?
And I think it is the UK Open. But it might not be. I think it is. I can't remember. I can't remember stuff like that. He was just asking a bit much with that one. He was trying to flick it out with the side, but the angle wasn't quite there. I think it is the UK Open, Brighton. Place is still available if you want to get in the Brighton event. If you do, just send us an email to chairman@ipapool.com or send us a Facebook message via the IPA Facebook page, and we'll get back to you in the next few days once we've recovered from this weekend. Usually takes me about a week to recover from one of these. It's about the standard rate at the moment.
Is that just getting over how badly you've played?
No, I'm used to that now.
Talking of Facebook and social media, I have just put a post in the IPA streaming group. If anybody would like to ask any questions of myself, and probably more importantly the chairman, please feel free to ask about the stream, ideally.
Yeah, and only easy questions please today.
Michael Day has said the British Open. Could well be that.
British Open, yeah, that sounds right. I was close.
I'm glad Michael knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, thanks Michael, yep. So if you've got any questions you want to ask Michael, then just send us a message. That's a good shot. Oh, look at that, that's worked out well.
Kev, when you see these kind of shots, and you're wanting to open up a pocket, are you thinking, obviously it depends on where the ball is in the pocket, but as an example here, are you playing that straight into the yellow, or are you playing it off the cushion into the yellow?
I think cushion first, that one. It's difficult to tell just how close that yellow is to the pocket, but I think that sets itself up for a cushion first.
Well, I missed it, so you can tell it must have been quite far away from the pocket for him to hit the knuckle and not on the ball.
Yeah.
This table has played quite tight, Kev.
If you ask me, they all play tight.
Have you ever tried 9-ball?
Yeah, I fell in one of the pockets once. It wasn't for me.
Four points with your head.
I used to play a bit of 9-ball. Not for me, that game.
Chris has asked a question about the scores in the other matches. Quite difficult, Chris, for us because we're in a different room and we haven't really got access to that. So if you go to the IPA, the International Professional Pool Players Association Facebook page, there is a file you can download which should give you the scores updated.
Yeah.
It'll tell you who's in and who isn't.
Yeah, it'll give you all the results on there. And there was one or two people who've had something to say about our live scoring and results, and we fully accept that we've got a lot of work to do on that, and but stuff is going on in the background. We have tried a system this weekend that just hasn't quite done what we wanted it to do.
And that's not to say it won't, though, Kev. But it's it's just getting to grips with the system, isn't it?
Yeah, just a few teething issues. That's all. But and we're trialing another new system in Brighton, and then hopefully we'll have everything in place to have a great service in place by the time the World comes around in February. So we are on it. We're fully aware. Just bear with us on that one. We can't do everything. We're doing as much as we can, as fast as we can.
What are the dates for the Worlds, Kev, in February? Anybody interested to?
They start on the 31st of January, and that's a Tuesday, and lasts until the Sunday. And again, all the details for that will be announced this week. And there's no cap on that, but there will be a deadline for entry day. So, like anything, you get entered, then you're in. Enjoy Christmas and not be worrying about getting your entry in on time. Just get it done, and then sit back and relax and wait for the event. Prize money gone up significantly for the World Championships. So it's going to be £10,000 to the winner, which is a fair old increase from what it was, what it's been for the last few years, which is great news.
Good effort there by Craig to give himself a chance at splitting that red out, but it just didn't fall for him.
What's he trying here? Top corner.
Well, he's been quite fortunate there that he didn't pot the yellow, but
yeah,
I'm not sure it would have had an effect on the outcome of the frame anyway.
I think he's just pushing the boat a little bit too much, Craig. I don't know if he's mentally tired. It's been a long weekend for him.
Yeah, with picking up the tour title last night, it's a long old day. And he'll tell you himself he's not the peak of physical fitness.
Yes, I think his peak was a long time ago, to be fair.
In fitness, but in his Q Sports he's still got time. Do love watching Craig. He's such an exciting player. That's a fabulous shot from Craig to swerve it round to get to the potting angle. That's absolutely brilliant.
So how does he want to play this one? Does he want to leave the skill, or does he want to try and screw off the side cushion?
Get in behind
and come behind it. Oh, look at this for a shot.
It's too much. It's just okay. But he can play this with confidence, Kev. That yellow over the pocket's not going to cause him an issue. The natural angle is going to come off the two cushions and just be on the black for the left centre. 1, 2, and there he is.
And that's going to be a sickener for John.
Nice finish from Marsh. Yeah, the crowd rightly appreciating it. You can't see it, Kev, but on the people are scared of sitting in front of the camera, but there's a nice group of people around the sides of the arena.
Yeah, they get a bit shy, don't they? They don't like to be in camera shot.
Commentator David Hine, he's grimacing at the finish that Marshy's just taken out there. We were just talking about favourite place to watch, and Marshy's right up there for David. thank you to Pinders. Wayne Pinders. Pinders, top lad. He's put the link into the IPA streaming page, Facebook page, to for people to go to the scores. Jimmy Croxton has got a question for you, Kev.
Warwick.
He says, how did John manage to beat him?
Well, I think James should know he was there.
Let's put it down to experience, James.
Yeah, that would have been a great match for the stream. I mean, Jimmy has...
played very well this weekend, hasn't he?
Yeah, well, he has at the last time as well. He's obviously, putting a bit of time in, and you can definitely see that how good he's playing now, which is great to see. He was my sort of tip for the Open. I did fancy him to win it. Not that I had a bet, so I'm not allowed, but yeah, I thought he was playing well enough to win. But the difference between some of these top guys, it's a nudge here and it's a pot there. It's so hard to call. I mean, it's great. As a fan of pool and somebody who loves watching great players, it's just a great time to be involved in the sport, I think.
Well, Jimmy's had 2 quarterfinals this weekend, and he says that from 2 each, he barely got a sniff. So you can't.
What can you do?
You know what's nicer though, Kev? This is something that you don't see very often. As Michael Oliver came off the table against Simon Fitzsimmons in the last match, and Simon said, "Well, I don't mind at all losing to a performance like that." And Jimmy gave great credit to John for his performance against him. That's a fantastic shot. I don't think the yellow, if you can see on camera 3, the yellow doesn't go past the black, so some work to be done. It's going to be very difficult to avoid an in-off if you should try and slice the yellow into the left centre, so bit of shot making required here. My point was that the standard is so good that when people lose, generally it's to a brilliant performance, and so you don't feel as bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sorry, I wasn't really paying much attention, if I'm honest. I was just...
You're adding friends on Facebook.
Well, it's a little bit sad. Just seen a post from Bertley Snooker Club. We've got the streaming on their big screen, so hope you're enjoying it all. They're watching Michael Oliver early, putting I think what can only be described as a sublime performance, and we may well be seeing him in the final later.
Betley, is that Yorkshire?
Bertley, it's northeast.
Northeast. So great players that have played here this weekend from the northeast, haven't they?
Well, it's ridiculous the amount of talent in that area, and obviously delighted to be rewarding that with one of the tour events at Newcastle United's ground next year. Oh, John, disappointed with that one.
It wasn't an easy shot. He was conscious of where the red was. I mean, they seemed to kiss pretty much at the same time. It was a millimetre away from being a foul, so it's just got in John's head. He would never have missed that ordinarily.
I think what we've seen this this weekend sort of sums up what's happened throughout the year. That the top boys are dominating, but we're seeing the emergence of new talent, new names. We saw Luke Boakes get to the final last night, and that's going to be. He's not going to be able to leave this perfect, I don't think. And we've seen the double winner from Glasgow, Mark Farnsworth, get beat in the first rounds of the Pro and the Open, and it just shows that with a bit of good play, that is a fantastic shot. With a bit of good play, a bit of luck, and what have you, that anyone can beat anyone. That was such a good shot. He played 2 reds ago.
Fabulous.
These guys are making it look ridiculously easy. That was a tough shot what he played there. Lifted his keel up to just stun it down perfectly for his last red.
Now that I've got you, Kev, I'm going to put you on the spot.
You did that yesterday. You can't do it again. It's not in the contract.
I've got a contract. I hope he's watching. But yesterday, whilst on the stream, I did put it out there to people if they wanted to ask any questions. And Jamie Simpson asked me about whether or not there's going to be IPA events in Scotland next year, because, and it was I said, I would have hoped so. Obviously there's a big Blackball following, and I'm just interested to get what your thoughts on that.
Well, obviously we've been to Erskine Bridge, just on the outskirts of Glasgow for the last 4 years, and we've made the decision that we're not going to go back there. We didn't have a great time this year, to be fair, at the hotel, so that was one reason why. 2, the Scottish players in general don't go to all 5 events. We've probably got about 3 or 4 who've done all the events. A couple who've done a couple of events. So they've not been that well supported. We've had a few enter the Scottish event as a one-off, but as we're not doing the flexi system next year, those sort of entries won't be happening next year. So whilst appreciating that there is a big pool playing base in Scotland, they've chosen really not to really get behind the IPA events, and that's their choice, and I don't have a problem with that. So we've moved that event to Newcastle, which is obviously in the north of England, so it's still in that area, you could argue, I guess, but we're always looking at different venues, and the problem with Scotland is that there is a lack of suitable venues. So, for example, we looked at the Hilton in Glasgow. It's got a great function room, but they wanted £7,000 per day room hire. Well, with the best will in the world, we haven't got £21,000 that we can just chuck down the Swanee. So that's another major problem. So we either had to take it out of Scotland or stay at Erskine Bridge. So they were basically the 2 choices that we had. We didn't feel we could go back to Erskine Bridge, so we've made the decision to move that one to Newcastle, and hopefully some of the Scottish will start to support the tour now with with the increased monies and everything else that's involved, and then we can possibly look to go back. It's a difficult situation, and we've done the best we can with it.
Is that why you've chosen to do the event then in Newcastle? Because there seems to be northeast accents absolutely everywhere I go.
Well, what we've got to remember is that there isn't a massive amount of venues that can host us without charging an arm and a leg for the function room hire. There's probably 10 venues in the whole of the UK that fit all our criteria. Now, obviously, with the involvement of Corals, it's given us a little bit of room for manoeuvre, you could say, and a bit of flexibility. But ultimately, in Scotland, there is a shortage of hotel conference venues. So that's where we're at the moment. Now, there's nothing to say that we have the World Series of events, and there's nothing to say that we can't contact the SPA and see if we could look to do one of the World Series events in Scotland. That's something that we're thinking about at the moment, and as we look to do the plans for World Series for next year. So
and the World Series, Kev, just to clarify, they have open events linked to them, don't they?
They do, yeah. So there's a team challenge, then there's the finals of the pro event, and then we do an open event as well. So there's a bit of everything for everyone. So that's something that we've discussed, and we probably will be contacting the SPA in the next few weeks to maybe look at something like that, because an IPA versus Scotland elite challenge match would be, I think, great viewing.
Can you imagine that? That'd be awesome, wouldn't it?
Obviously with World Series we don't need a big venue. It can be held in a club or something like that. So we'll see what we can do on that one.
You can just see on the big screen picture at the minute, Marsh, he does look relaxed still, at 4-1. He's just giggling away with Mel.
He needs to get rid of that goatee.
Mel or Marshy?
Marshy.
You don't like it?
There's too many people with beards. I'm not happy about all these beards. Are people getting lazy?
That's what mine is. Good shot. Now get himself the perfect angle on this last yellow to the right centre.
Here's a question for you, Dan.
Do you want to read it to me? My eyes can't see that far.
Right then, how can the IPA justify that amount of money for a game of pool? You can enter any tournament and play the best players in the world for 20 quid.
It's quite simple, really, I think. That the best players in the world want to play for that amount of money because that's what they believe that's how much they believe in themselves. So it's not us necessarily saying, if you want to play, you have to pay this much. You're more than welcome to play against the best players in the world for 20 quid. But you're not going to play in this environment for that. And this is where these guys want to prove themselves. So if we were to run an IPA tour in a hotel and say, it's £20 entry, then we'd get very, 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 very few entrants.
I think it's also supply and demand.
Well, yeah, that's the same thing, that we're supplying what their demand is, aren't you? I say we, this is you. I'm answering on your behalf.
Yeah, and you might be able to enter a tournament for 20 quid, but you won't get all the best players under one roof. You'll get some.
You've only got to look at, there's a Blackball competition taking part in Newcastle under Lyme, not too distant future. And they've paid, it's an amateur only event and it's £250 a man. They're playing because that's the pressure that they want to play under and the environment that they want to play in. So, it's not the IPA's fault, so to speak.
Dirk Benedict, he's saying, no English pool in Scotland, I blame Brexit.
I thought you wanted me to avoid politics.
Well, on a serious note, if anyone knows of any venues in Scotland that could host an IPA event where they don't charge you a remortgage to host it there, then we would always look at any opportunities.
If, as an example then, Scotland was to separate itself from the UK, Kev, and have its own currency, that currency gets about the value of the Turkish lira. That £7,000 would just be a snip, wouldn't it? We might be able to go back to Scotland.
Anything's possible.
No, in all seriousness, I think it would be nice. It would be nice, Kev, wouldn't it? We would prefer to have an IPA event in Scotland. It's you want to get as many people who want to play, don't you? But you've got to, as you said before, supply and demand. And it's just the circumstances at the minute are that to give the product that you want to give to the people. There's not the correct circumstances in Scotland as things stand.
You're right. We definitely want to be there. Yeah, we definitely want to be back in Scotland at some point. It's not that we've forgotten you. It's just that we're not there next year. Certainly not in the tour. Like I said, potentially we might be there in World Series once we start speaking to the national body, and we'll see what we can work with them on.
Question in the IPA streaming page, Facebook page, Kev, for you.
Okay.
If I can get my tongue out of my mouth. From Monty McTavish, and he would like you to give a rendition of Flower of Scotland to show your love for the great country.
Well, Monty, if you could hear me sing, you wouldn't want me to be renditioning anything. So I think for all the viewers' safety and their ears, it's probably best that I don't.
Sorry lads, it didn't work.
Oh, nice shot. And we're seeing just exactly why John McAllister is now one of the top players on the IPA. He's coming on leaps and bounds in the last 2-3 months. He's a class act. Oof, huge kick. Little wry smile there from John.
And you don't get much emotion from him, do you, Kevin? That's one of his strongest, attributes, is the fact that he just plays. You wouldn't know if he was 7-0 down or 7-0 up, would you?
That's the most emotion I've seen from him in about 3 years. But great to see these, these young guys coming through and challenging the establishment, as it were. It's, I've said it before, as a fan of Paul, it's just great to see. Reputations count for nothing these days. Ooh, look at that. Half of that white's in the pocket.
Is that an anti-gravity white? Marshy doesn't want to get too close to that table. Cued. Just wants it to pull up now. That's fine. It's a very good chance now for Craig to get a 5-3 lead.
So you were asked a question earlier about what is the most memorable match you have commentated on. Did you get asked that question?
Not in the most recent post. I don't get notifications on them.
It was 5 hours ago. Were you commentating then?
Probably. Most memorable match I've commentated on.
Don't include any of my matches in that, then. Just so that, for impartiality reasons.
I am struggling to forget those, Kev, in a counselling manner. This is a silly question. Does it have to be an IPA match?
No,
it should be, shouldn't it, really?
Can I just say the best final that I've seen was the one in Glasgow?
The one most
Last
recently.
Event. Scott Gillespie and Mark Farnsworth. I think that was a great final. It was one of the highest standards, and plus the atmosphere with all those Scottish boys cheering him on, and the English boys cheering Mark on it. That's one of the best matches I've seen. I didn't commentate on it, but it's just the best one I've seen. Shall we dig the archives out for you, Don?
Well, no, not so much in terms of matches per se. I mean, I can't even remember which match it was, but I remember when we had an event where it was one of the first times that we'd held the final of one of the tours on the Saturday night. And I remember it'd been kind of called for by a few of the players and a few of your political commentators and the usual like. And I just remember there being a room full of people watching this match. I think it might even have been Ronan against Farnsworth. It might not have been Farnsworth. I'm pretty sure it was Ronan. It might have been the one that Marsh won. Anyway, I just remember the room was so full and there was a really good game, and I can remember the room and I can remember the atmosphere, but I can't remember the result. But I just remember that's when you're watching pool in that arena with all the people watching, it's almost more important than some of the performances. You know what I mean, Kev?
Yeah, absolutely. And we've had a few. I mean, the venues that we go to generally determine if there's going to be a good crowd. So, for example, this stream table is in a separate room to the main tables, and it doesn't lend itself for people to come and really watch. It's a bit out of the way. Whereas somewhere like Bradford and Glasgow, it's all in the same room and it's near the bar, and it's a better setup for our events. and we've had some cracking crowds on the Saturday night, and it's you're right, it doesn't take many people to create a great atmosphere, but you know, there may be sort of 40, 50 watching on the street and for the final on the Saturday night, and it's it's a great. I mean, there was plenty watching in Glasgow last time up, but so a lot can be affected by the venue, but generally Bradford is, on the Saturday night we've had some good crowds there.
John looking to make early progress and get onto the yellow nearest the black. Just seen on Kev's iPad that Wayne's put that scoring in for Bez, Mr. Mark Berryman. Nice to see you watching. Even nice to see that you're betting.
And hope you're winning, of course.
That was not a message from our sponsors, was it? However, yeah, so you can follow your bets on the IPA live scoring system. Kev mentioned it's not perfect, but it's a work in progress, that's for sure. Some sadly unavoidable setbacks. 2 steps forward, 1 step back, Kev.
Yes, we're at the end of the day we're all volunteers, and it's not for some people, and people move on, go their different ways, and we just have to keep moving forward and just get on with the job. No good worrying about who's not here. It's about who is here and who's going to be here to make it better and improve. Oh, fantastic shot. Is he going to be unlucky? He's played that well.
He's on the one, I think, to the right centre.
But yeah, we're looking at our options on the scoring. It's all, like you say, work in progress. We've been trialling the system for the last 2 events. We're now going to look at another system and then make a decision at the end of the year what we think is the best way forward for us. So at least we're in the great position that we have got a choice. And but just bear with us. It's there's a lot going to be going on in the next 12 months, and we physically can't do everything, but working as hard as we can to get to be bigger and better, event by event, and but we'll get there.
Oh yeah. Oh, that needs to pull up. That needs to pull up.
Yeah, it's okay. But he's whichever ball he pots, the white's going the wrong way.
Do you think Kev is going to have to come up and down? Yeah, he can leave himself into the next pot into the bottom right corner, and depending on what angle he's got, either play to roll into the 2 reds, which will leave him something, or then control the stun if he's not that wide on the pot. Got a couple of options here, but it's like Kev said, it's just kind of losing a little bit of the white. Watching John against Jimmy Croxton, that was one of the things that impressed me the most, was his cue ball control. He never seemed to be out of position.
Well, it's not got hold of that one. That's the first shot that he's not really got right. He didn't get through the ball. Just lost momentum on the stroke, so didn't get the screw back that he was after. So he's going to pull out a big shot here. He's trusting to look a little bit. But he's got to get the pot first. Worry about the look afterwards. Yeah. That could be big moment in this match. That shot. If there's anybody out there who sent me a message on Facebook, I will get around to answering them. I've got quite a few. People, asking about the tour and how to get on, etc. I will get around to them. So just bear with me.
I just had a question in the IPA Facebook page. Please, Kev, if you might. Oh, that's incredibly unlucky. That's a fabulous effort. Play through 3 different gaps. Do you think it's a good idea to get local leagues to attend events and the ones that do raffle a free entry in the next amateur comp, just to try and get more supporters around the arena?
Yeah, I think that's certainly a good idea. I mean, there's a lot of things that we want to do, but we can't physically do because we haven't got the resource. So, the first thing we need to do is to get a bigger team, because we're going to need that going forward. And there's a lot of easy things that can be done to try and get people here, but it's just having the physical manpower to put those plans into place. But yeah, that's a really good idea. And that's now stored, so potentially we could look to do something like that. We have thought about things like that, things that we can do with universities and big employers, offer incentives to come. There's a whole host of things, easy things that we can do. But it's just we're struggling to cope with what we're doing at the moment. In all reality, a lot of things have to not get. Oh, that's just turned in. I got a finger mark. So a lot of things have to sort of slip because we just physically can't do it. So we're going to look to build a team, over the coming months, and then we can start to look at the opportunities, like you've mentioned, with local leagues. Good question. Good point. Just too high.
He's left him Chinese snooker, Kev, so he's going to have to pull out a shot here to...
Yeah.
This is the Marshy. He's obviously disappointed, but he's having a laugh about it. He's obviously very happy to be in the situation he is, where he's got a chance of doing the double over the weekend. Kev, I'd like to announce to you that Jim Furyk shot a 58 yesterday, and I missed it because I was here for you. That's how much I respect you.
Jim Furyk, no. You're looking for the clip.
Nope.
Okay.
And the kisses set Marshy up as good as he could ever have wanted.
I've got a question from Chris Coatsworth Jr. He's interested in playing in the final event at Brighton, and how would he go about getting a place? Well, Chris, the online entry system is currently closed, but what you can do is send us an email to chairman@ipapool.com, or send us a ticket through the Contact Us page on the website, or send us a message on Facebook, and we'll take it from there. So it's as simple as that. We have got places available. So like we say, it's first come, first served, and just send us a message, and we'll hopefully see you at Brighton. Great venue, probably the best hotel we go to, right on the seafront. Cracking venue.
They're all very good though, aren't they, Kev? I mean, the hotels, they provide us with exactly what we need.
They do. There's a hell of a amount of work goes into finding the venues and then working with them to put these weekends on. It's one of those real time consuming jobs that no one sees, but the end result is we end up with great hotels in great locations, and everyone has a great time at them. So a lot of work goes into them and into the preparation.
Just a brief interlude here whilst Marshy goes for a comfort break. Some hilarity in the crowd. A message from David, and he's saying that's 8 frames and 6 dishes. That's some going. Craig returns to the arena. It's John to break. Last red roll in drops. And these are not by any means a given finish, these. Kev, what are you seeing here? Are you going yellows or reds?
Well, probably yellows.
Because you can use the yellow near the left centre pocket to develop the other one, is that what you're thinking?
Yep. Big frame this for John. He doesn't want Craig to get to 7. He can just nick this one, get the next, and then all to play for. But it will be really hard to be 7-3, 7-4 down to Marsh in the form that he's in. You're going to have to play perfect ball and have a bit of run as well. So good shot. I think that helps him. It clears a bit of traffic, gets rid of a red just to make things a little bit easier. Again, he's got a tricky little shot. He's going to have to get really through this white ball. It's not quite come out.
No, I didn't quite screw into it as I think he wanted to, Kev. It kind of came off a bit narrower and ended up catching the yellow a lot fuller. I think he wanted to flick it out really on the other side.
Yeah, I think he didn't get through the shot again.
Which is unusual for John. Do you think that's... Is this perhaps a symptom of late in the day, stream table and the scenario that he finds himself in? Semi-final of a professional event. Excuse you, Kev.
Pardon?
Straight over his head, it took his hair off.
Just trying to catch up with social media, it's just going a bit bonkers.
feel like I'm commentating with Darth Vader every time you breathe into that microphone.
Yes, my son.
Fantastic shot.
Wow.
That's just what John needed to get himself back in this match. If he can concentrate on taking this finish out, and at 6-4 it's still anybody's game.
Could you believe it when you saw that the opening ceremony of the Olympics clashed with the tour?
Yeah, well, we've said about calendar clashes before, Kev, but I can't believe you didn't get in touch with the IOC, being Blackball International is a member of the Olympic Committee.
I know, we're all in the same family. Can't believe they clashed that with us. Don't want to be straight. Seems to be striking the wall a little bit better now. Just had a couple of shots where he's not quite got through it and ended up out of position, but seems to be hitting it a little bit crisper now.
He's running 2 cushions and left himself a black.
And he needs to stop rolling.
Oh, he's alright.
That's good.
There.
You can see some of the finger marks on the cloth from the match.
Well, Marsh, he slides into his shots, doesn't he? You know, and that can, you know, obviously, if you're playing a long match, it's going to build up over time.
So 6-4, so 1 break of serve to put it into tennis terms. Big frame this. This is a big frame. John will be praying he gets a shot.
Have you not had your lunch?
No lunch today. No time for lunch.
Good break from Marshy, and those balls just haven't split for him.
No.
But Kev, he can play the red onto the yellow here, can't he?
You can. If you're new to Blackball rules, by putting a ball off the break, it doesn't mean you're on that colour. It just means you stay at the table. So now it's the first. It's still an open table, so it's the first ball he pops legally, and he'll be on that colour, so he can play the plant red onto yellow, and then he'll be on yellows. Problem with playing the plant, he's not going to leave himself anything easy afterwards. He's playing safe. What was that?
I think he's played the plant just because he thought he had to bump it into the cushion to get the angle to pot the yellow. Just got it far too thin, really.
Well, if John can clip this yellow in his...
Oh, these are good signs for John. I mean, he can see, I can't see, but off camera, Marsh is shaking his head, huffing and puffing and scratching his face. And that's just... You see now, look, he's tapping his cue on the floor, and you watch how he puts his cue down. He always seems to do it with a bit of a throw.
I think what we've noticed though, Dan, and obviously you won't have seen this, but I've said it before on the stream, he's a lot more mentally together than I've seen him for quite a while over this year, and it has been reflected generally in his results. And he's not had the greatest of season, but he missed the first tour as well in China because they were out in China. But he's certainly back with a bang this weekend anyway.
assuming that the yellow to the left of the furthest left yellow of the three in the middle of the table will pass into the right centre pocket, which gives him a good angle to get down the table for the yellow at the bottom. Will be pretty much dead weight the pot. Flick. No. Ooh, he might just be okay. That might give him a bit, because he's so close, the angle's exaggerated, and he can just clip this in and get back up the table. With him being so close to the object ball, though, control of the distance of the cue ball is very difficult. It's going to be more of a jab. So, a little bit of luck required here, but just a little bit further, and that's very good. He can play this with left hand side. It will just help the ball, the white ball, travel through a little straighter. You can the red full in the face and leave himself on the yellow as good as he could have hoped. And you can see the white ball spinning with the left hand side that I talked about, but he's played it at such a pace that the red's come back up, and now his angle for getting on the black is difficult. Is he going to have to play in the gap here, Kev?
There's a wall of reds
If he's got quite a lot of angle on the yellow, he can go up the table and come back down and take the black into the right centre.
Yeah, I don't think he's got that much angle. I think if there's a gap, it's easier to play for the gap. You can just see there is a nice little gap between those two reds.
It is a little gap, especially on an angle, Kev. This is delicate, isn't it?
Yeah. But you know, the white's close to the ball he's potting. He's not. He's in full control of the shot. Graham Pinder's asking about the online documents that we used to do for scores and that they seem to work well. That looks pretty good to me.
I think he's in it. I think that's a... He was shaking his head, he didn't like it before, but I think he just played a great shot. Fabulous.
Drills home the black ball. So now 6-5. Back on serve. So yeah, Wayne's asking about the online docs that seem to work well. So, but you know, as you rightly say, the app does work if you click on the right buttons. But you know, as we've said before, we think we're trialling another system in Brighton, and this is all about preparing ourselves for next year. You know, we have to try stuff. Some things will work, some things won't. That's just the way it is. And you know, fingers crossed. With a little bit of work and prep, we'll have a great system in place for next year. So, you know, we're always trying new stuff and experimenting to improve. And sometimes, you know, you have to take a few knocks and a few backward steps before you move forward. We should know if we've done plenty of them. But you know, it's all about the long term. It's not about the now. It's all about the longer term, and that's what we're preparing for.
What a break that was, by the way.
That was a right crunch. Take your pick out of them.
Well, he's taking reds, I think. I don't think he's he's usually got to play this with a little bit of right hand side.
Well,
He'll just catch the yellow.
I like yellows. Yeah, I'm gonna say that. I like yellows. It's okay. Yellow top left.
I only think he had one pot to play.
Can see quite clearly there from that great camera angle that he's on it. Great shot there. Stroked in. you can see he's hitting the ball a lot better than he was 3 or 4 frames ago. Phil Collins is asking about the trip to South Africa, if it'll be streamed. Yep, all the details are now in place. We're flying out on the Wednesday night from Heathrow. Arrived Thursday morning, and as I understand it, the Friday and Saturday nights will be streamed. The final of the pro event and the team event. Now there is going to be 2 team events. One will be against the top 5 from their Blackball Premier League, which should be a cracking match. I've already seen a bit of chatter on their social media about it. Those South Africans think they're gonna win. So that's going to be great. And then there's also another team match. The IPA against the sponsor of the event. They're going to handpick a team as well to challenge the might of the IPA. And then there will be an opening event. I'm not certain if that's streamed yet, but I suspect it probably will be. So yeah, everything's in place for that. And like I say, we fly out on the 31st of August. And we'll be promoting that and all the details probably in the next couple of weeks as we get a little bit closer to it. So that's going to be an interesting experience for the IPA guys. I'll play John McAllister, so the 4 professionals: Craig Marsh, Mark Farnsworth, Jack Whelan, and Harry Irwin. And the amateur qualifier was Chris Boron. So those 5 and myself will be. I'll be representing the IPA. I'm there purely as an administrator, of course.
Good in the team.
Not as a player. And, hopefully it's going to be great. And
I really do hope the IPA team win, or win for Kev.
Oh, those South African boys think it's easy. They're only playing the Pro number 1, 2015 World Champion. Tour winner from this weekend, and Harry Irwin, who got beaten the quarters or the semis this week, who's he's in great form.
Good smash from Craig there, has left himself an opportunity on yellows, just 1 ball to develop, Kev.
Yeah.
Either set are okay. If the red passes, if you can get to the potting angle on the red to the right centre, reds are your choice, are they?
I've just got a feeling it'll go for yellows. That's not the best shot. He's concentrated that much on getting the right angle to top this through and nudge in into those 2 balls. Got it this sweet. Yeah, it's not come out. Work to do. And not forgetting, of course, amateur qualifier Chris Boron, one of the best amateurs in the country without a doubt. Professional standard player without a doubt, who makes up the 5th member of the team. So it's going to be a tough trip for him, to be fair. 10-hour flight, and we get there early Thursday morning, then we're coming back. Oh, great shot. He's lost the white.
A little kiss on that would have been nice.
Oh, yeah.
Another double here, Kev, do you think? Otherwise he's losing the white. He's losing the white anyway, but if he doubles it, he might be able to hold it to get position on the yellow to the bottom left afterwards.
He might be tempted to clip it in with right hand side, and then if the white comes across, it might nudge into that black and yellow.
It's brave putting too much right hand side on where the white ball is. See what he fancies. It's probably the right shot.
These guys are pulling apart a little bit of right hand side. Either way, he's got a tough shot. I think he's doubling. But no, he's not. That slid off the cushion. You get very difficult to play doubles at that pace. John. This is going to be a big frame because he's got back to 6-all, but getting ahead in a match where you've been behind can sometimes be quite a challenge. The psychology and the mentality reverses. So it's going to be interesting to see how he handles that.
Should he get the opportunity to handle it?
Pardon?
Should he get the opportunity to handle it? Because you said if he goes ahead, we've got to... look at that.
But he had a plan B in place. So that was a well-controlled shot, to be fair.
Craig just trying to see where he can hit on the cushion.
You can see that red's almost touching the white where it's only going to be able to hit just below the centre bag.
That little bit of slide might help him here, Kev.
He'll be reasonably happy with that. He's blocked John's red, so John may well pot this red and look for a safety where those two reds are at the top.
What about coming off the side cushion, Kevin trying to knock this red over the bottom left pocket? I don't think you get any risk of fouling really, and if he plays that, then you're in a really good control position for the frame.
Yeah, but I think he'll like to get rid of this one. And I think we might see a safety at this end of the table.
It's quite a large target for him to hit, so he's got to put this in a good safe position, hasn't he?
Yeah, he'll probably just bounce this red off the cushion.
Try and get him behind that red.
Yeah, it's a clever shot. Don't want to overcomplicate things though. He'd rather it just go in the jaws. Yeah, it's a good shot. Good thinking there. So he can use that ball if he gets the opportunity to pot and try and develop his bad yellow. But would expect Craig to pot this. To hit it, sorry. Pot it. That's a superb shot. But John's still in the box seat in this frame.
It's going to get a bit touchy-feely here.
So, in the other semi-final, Liam Dunster, he's having a fine run. He's 7-2 up against Neil Rayborn. Is this going to be his breakthrough event? Already accounted for Rona McCarthy and Clint Jansen.
Well, he's on a run then.
Yep. And in the semi-final of the amateur event, Michael Oliver, who we saw on the stream earlier, he's 3-0 up against Lee Ray. And the other semi-final, Jonathan Bushnell, is 1-0 up against Mark Fleming.
And a foul stroke from Craig will no doubt give ball in hand to John, who will be looking to take this opportunity to open up all the balls if he can just I think he's got a good opportunity here to take the ball in hand and plant the two reds. Oh, well, he's not fancying that. I think plant the two reds down onto this yellow ball. It'll open up the black and the other red.
No, he's biding his time. I'm going to pop the yellow and then probably re-snooker. Probably screw this back about 2 feet. Okay, 18-inch then.
I can see Kev chooses these shots. This is the Kev can call these shots.
I just can't play him.
That's exactly what he would choose to do.
Yeah. So John now just needs to draw one foul from Craig, and then he's got the opportunity to go for game.
Do you think John's playing this way because he can sense a bit of frustration in Craig? Or do you think this is just the way he plays? He just wants to make sure because he knows it's such a big frame.
I think it's just the way the frame's developed. I think if he'd have had a reasonable opportunity, he'd have gone. But he's in the box seat in the frame, so he is getting to that business end. So there's no point risking anything when he's in control. It's up to Craig now to pull something out of the hat. And it's certainly not that.
Craig said 3-ball plant.
So I said, I thought I said it didn't go to plan.
He's tried to play the yellow into the cushion and then the red, hasn't he? He just got it almost a quarter of a ball too thin.
Michael Oliver goes 4-0 up against Lee Ray. So looking at the current scores, I think it's fair to say that oh, look at that. That always happens when you don't want it to. I think if the results go as we expect, I think the next match on the stream will probably be the pro final.
Jamie Simpson just commenting, I think it was on the Dunster conversation we had a minute ago, saying that he's had an incredible run. Thinks he's beaten Farnsworth 8-2, Ronan 8-4, Clint 8-6.
Yeah, beat Farnsworth as well, didn't he? Yeah, first up this morning.
And Wardy 8-2. Well, if you're going to give a run of death to people, that's about it, isn't it? I mean,
that's a draw and a half, is that? Great performance. Superb performance.
He's going to have eyes like mine when he gets in here. He's going to be absolutely shattered.
So, what's he got? Can he squeeze a bit of angle? Punch this across. Where's the white?
Oh,
straight in the pocket.
Now then, it's imperative that Marshy gives this finish every ounce of his concentration, because he might only have 3 balls left. But those two reds are playing a part and making things awkward.
That could be his opportunity to get into the final. Gone.
It's a good shot from Marshy. He can get across the table now, leave himself as straight as he can on the yellow. Just got into that a bit more than he wanted. Just a bit of a huff and puff of air. Release the tension. Arms just tightening up at this late stage. You know, I've been saying how tight these pockets have played, and that rattled. It was probably about as good as he could have hit it. This black to get on the hill. Well done, Craig.
Well, Craig's got to be happy winning that for him. He kind of expected to win it after he went in off and gave John those 2 shots.
Question in the IPA Facebook page, Kev, from an anonymous user. It says, can you make sure that Dan is commentating in South Africa? Forget Brighton.
Sorry, I can only answer questions when we've got a name that we can answer to.
The question was from Dan Rush.
Dan, if you want to come to South Africa, you can do.
You got some
but
good
I'm
link
not
for the
paying
flight.
for you.
Yeah. Fair enough.
The kitty doesn't stretch that far.
No. It's okay, Marsh. He's a bit frustrated. That's not where he wanted to be, but just means he's going to have to change the way he thinks about getting out this awkward yellow behind the pack of 3 reds at the bottom of your screen. Nice shot, managed to keep the pocket open. And making huffy puffy noises, but no, that's not too bad. Craig can cue the yellow at the top right of the table now. He will have an angle. Yeah, he can get there. It's not easy, but it's still the finish is still on. Doesn't need to become too exasperated just yet. It's a long and winding tunnel, but it's still a bit of light at the end of it.
Yep, this to get into his second final of the weekend. Just 5 pots. He's got the wrong angle.
Yeah, see, Kev, he can get to this. He doesn't need to worry too much. He can just pop this yellow into the left centre. And he's just naturally going to come down into that red. He's going to leave himself a long yellow afterwards into the top right, but it's still, he's still a chance here. He's got to remain positive and keep making sure that he's trying to do his best to judge his cannons.
I think he's playing this one right centre next, I would have thought. If it does go to the decider, Craig will be breaking. Well, it's got a double, but
I don't think he needed to put any backspin on that, Kev. He was naturally coming down full ball into that red. I'm not sure where he was trying to go with the cue ball, or if he was just perhaps trying to get distance and get it away from the balls he was curving into. But Anyway, here's his chance.
I think he was just trying to avoid the black. It's on its way. Oh! So, John McAllister, your wish has come true. Although nothing easy. His heart's going to be pumping a bit now, isn't it?
Well, he'll be looking at this table thinking, well, I'm glad I've got to you, but I wish it'd just been 2 reds instead of the full set of 7.
So he can either grab the bull by the horns and try and pop the red right centre, or he's going to look for a little safety, but I think you've got to, if you can put that red into the right centre. He's going to look hard with all the pressure that's thoughts going through his head.
Doesn't like it, Kev.
Yep, safety.
I wonder whether he left the path through to that yellow. Marsh is looking at it. Not what you'd call a gimme, this one, Kev, is it? Queuing off a rail with the ball just above the middle bag. And you need position. Well, he's looking at it. He thinks he can get through to the potting angle, I think.
Off the cushion.
Is that what he's looking at, you think?
Yeah.
Difficult to judge, Kev. He's seen already these cushions are sliding a little bit.
He's had a vision. He's sensing the glory shot. Here we go. Good attempt with that white. Alright then, here we go. You'd have definitely got these about 10-15 minutes ago. See how he's feeling.
The key shot's the one down the rail, isn't it, Kev? I mean, they've been playing quite tight these pockets, so he's, when you're trying to pot a ball down a rail, even though he's only got to drop it in, you know, the focus that he's going to apply to that shot.
Well, that's the beauty. He just has to drop it in. He doesn't have to do anything spectacular. He can even just drop it in and leave the white behind the red, just in case. Nice screen back for the yellow, red into the same bag.
Didn't touch the sides, Kev.
That tells us how he's feeling. So he'll take this one and then the 2 at the top. And then his last ball will be the red over the bottom left for the easy black. So we could be going to sudden death. Not literally, of course, just in the...
It's quite a forfeit.
We've not got to that stage just yet. I don't know what rules they are, where you have to die if you don't win, but...
Probably not the sponsor's choice.
No. We may run out of players after a few events. So, good stuff. It's going to the decider.
I think the game probably deserved the decider.
Yeah, 2 great players in top form.
Kev, just before they finish, they play the final frame in the pro events when they used to have the Blackball shootout. What was the reasoning behind moving away from those?
Well, I think there's a place for Blackball shootouts in the game, but not in the pro game.
Team events and the like.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, you know, this is a professional game, and a Blackball shootout is, I won't say it's a gimmick, but there is a type of event where that suits better than a professional event, I think. And so anyway, here we go. So he's putting a red. How does that split?
He's hit the break as good as he could. That white came right up and down the middle of the table.
Well,
And it's a chance, Kev, that's all he's asking for.
He's got a great chance. And we can just see on camera 3 that red just above the yellow at the top end of the table goes in that top left corner bag. So he's going for reds. This is his march to the final. Just to give you an update on the other semi-final, Neil Raybone's won the last 2 frames. It's now 7-4 to Liam Dunster.
Marshy has to apply himself completely to this finish. There can be no lapses in concentration here. He does not want to let John back to the table.
John's shaking his head, he can't believe the break. He knows he's not going to get a shot.
Fears he's not going to get a shot. I'm not having Marshy blaming you.
Quick update in the amateur semi-finals. Jonathan Bushnell 2-1 up against Mark Fleming. Michael Oliver 6-0 up against Lee Ray. Now, has he left a bit too much angle on that one?
No, Kev, he can drop it in and he can look on the third, on the corner camera. We should be able to see that he can drop this in and still be on that.
He's missed it. He was up on the shot straight away. Well, I would have expected that. John McAllister's heart must have just got up 50 beats per minute. But nothing easy.
Did you expect anything less than drama in this final frame? A breaking dish just wouldn't have done in the circumstance. John wanting to give himself a good opportunity to get back in this frame, because I'd still say that Craig is a favourite.
Yeah. See, I think Craig had just left himself a little bit too much angle on that previous shot, and he tried to pinch a little bit of the pocket.
Not that it wasn't difficult enough. He tried to pinch a bit of the pocket with Dragon Side.
These Welsh boys are brought up on Dragon Side. What's he going to do?
Well, that to me, mate, he's not going for the skill shot, I think.
He can't play the skill shot where that white is now. He won't risk it.
No,
he's got to play containing safety. I think he could just... I think all he can do is just tap onto this yellow that's on the top cushion.
But Kev, I mean, we were talking before about finger marks. It's a table that's only just been laid in the last couple of days, you know, let's be honest about it. It's not easy to create a perfectly flat table, and as good as it is in this scenario, with, you know, nervous queuing, tight arm, it's not easy.
He's gone for the skill shot, I can't believe it. Oh, great shot, John McAllister.
Marshy tapping, banging his cue on the floor in appreciation.
Wow, what a shot that was.
Enormous. That was no two ways about it. That was loss of match if he didn't get that.
Yep. That was his competition on the line there. But it's still not easy. He's still got 5 difficult pots.
We're talking about inventive shots, and you know, but in the circumstances, Kev, that is as good as a shot as I have ever seen in a final frame.
Yeah, like you say, under the circumstances, probably shot of the weekend. That had to be absolutely micromillimetre perfect. The fact that it was cueing the white off the cushion made the degree of difficulty of that shot ridiculous. we said, he's still got a lot of work to do. He's probably thinking putting this one in the middle and probably cannoning into the yellow on the right rail. No, he's just playing on it. So he's going to have to play this with some right hand side. No, he might be able to play ball to bring the white across.
Just wants to be closer to his work, doesn't he? So the braver he is with the cue ball.
Yeah, he might be okay with this. Just a little touch on. Big shot. He's played it well. He's played it perfectly. What a clearance this is. They talk about Alex Higgins' clearance against Jimmy White in the snooker. This has got to be up there in that.
Well, I'm not saying anything until he's got him.
He's got to stun this and leave a tiny little angle. He's tried to run it through to leave bottom side.
I think he's alright. He can just top it in, come off the cushion, leave himself.
He won't be topping. He'll be just stunning this up, I think.
Do you think has he got enough angle to?
I think he's going to punch it in.
Yeah.
Just like that. John McAllister, take a bow.
Oh.
And it's there.
Well, Kev.
And Craig Marsh, as a appreciative, he knows how good that clearance was. That was absolute top draw.
That was phenomenal clearance.
John McAllister, you've just gone up another level. Yeah.
Kev, can you believe that finish he's taken off?
We're just going to grab a few words with John. John, that was, I have to take my hat off to you there. That was probably the greatest clearance I think I've ever seen in a deciding frame. How are you feeling right now?
Static. Yeah, it was a really good finish, obviously. At one point I didn't think I was getting a shot, to be honest. Obviously, monster break. Probably just a little careless, really. The last shot from our shoot. Yeah, it's obviously, I don't mind those skill shots, to be honest, but being on the cushion, obviously, I didn't really fancy it in the end. But it was a must get, really. Obviously, if I get it, I'm still not favourite. I've still got to take out the finish, but it was one of them. Because of a force into it, maybe that's why I got it more.
Yeah, you had around four or five balls on the rail, as well as the. I mean, that skill shot was incredibly difficult, and under the circumstances, obviously you didn't get it. It's loss of match. Did that thought go through your mind?
Yeah, definitely. It was one of them. Because I knew I had to get it, maybe that's why I got it. It was one of them. I was forced into it. Yeah, I tried to get on it a bit perfect. Obviously, if I'm off the cushion, it's a lot easier. But it was the same shot. In fairness, really.
Is that a shot that you practice, or when you're on the table in the club? Do you practice those sort of things?
A little bit, to be honest. Yeah, it's just I've always got on with that skill shot, to be honest. If I'm behind it, and if it's relatively over the bag, I'll normally fancy myself to get it. Instead of trying to probably get round the back of it and play it in another corner, I'd probably leave the skill shot if it's possible. But yeah, I do practice them now and then. It's obviously a shot that comes in handy in these rules. Yeah,
obviously, yeah. I mean, it was a great match. 8-7 was a fitting scoreline, and Craig, really sportsmanlike, and
yeah, definitely,
just wishing you all the
he's a gentleman off the table, no doubt about that. Everyone will say that.
So you're in, the last few months you've been in some great form. You've been knocking on the door.
Yeah.
You got to the semis yesterday in the Open.
Yeah.
Now you've one step further, and you're obviously one match away from arguably, if I can get that word out, your biggest title today. What would it mean to you to win an IPA event?
Well, it's what everyone wants to do on the tour. That's why we join the tour and become professional as well. Winning one of these events with the amount of players and the standard of the players, it's what you can only dream of, to be honest. But
so I'm just going to give you an update on the other semi-final. It was 7-4 to Liam. It's now 7-5. It was 7-2 at one point.
Okay.
So it's now 7-5. So any preferences on who to play?
No, well, obviously me and Leon, we've played a few times, international level, Europeans and Worlds and that. And obviously we played each other on the tour as well because we joined at the same time. Obviously Neil, you're going to have to scrape him off the table at the end of the day, same as Leon really. But yeah, I don't mind who I play. Obviously the way I'm playing, I know I can beat anyone at the moment. So.
Well, John, that was absolutely a pleasure to watch, pleasure to commentate on. And like I say, that clearance in that final frame was, I think, the best I've ever seen. So well done to you.
Yeah. Cheers, mate.
And yeah, we'll see you in the final shortly.
Yeah,
on the same table. So well done.
Cheers, Kev. Appreciate it, mate. Thank you.
So as I said, the final will be coming up shortly. The other match is 7-5 to Liam. So as soon as that's finished, the final will be on the stream table. So the winner of that will play John, and so we'll take 10 minutes, and we'll see you back shortly.